Okay, so now we get to this incredible section that lists all these folk sayings, atasözleri in Turkish, about life in general. And these all teach really nice parable-like lessons. So one goes, aç olan kılıca sarılır, which means the hungry hand reaches for the sword. How poetic, but how true. When people are starving, you have violence. But the one I bookmark here, it is really telling, especially in these days of boomers versus millennials, and sorry Gen X is just crushed underfoot. Akrabanın akrabaya ettiğini akrep akrebe etmez. Which means the scorpion does not do unto another scorpion what relatives do to others. And this is so true, don't you think? I won't give any personal examples, but I know many cases in which the freaking grandfather dies and the entire extended family is at each other's throats. They're like freaking Game of Thrones on. And in this day and age, of course, you have the boomer generation who thinks they're immortal and entitled, and according to some statistics, something like 70% of all wealth, I'm saying all wealth, includes all money, all properties, all vehicles, all deeds, all stocks, all wealth is being held by these scorpions, these boomers. People born after 1945 and probably before 1970. Freaking scorpions. Okay, let's get some more proverbs. Adamak kolay, vermek zor. Dedication is easy, giving is hard. Aşığa Bağdat yakındır, which means to the lover, even Baghdad is nearby. And of course, Baghdad was a far-off province of the Ottoman Empire. So if you're in love, distances don't matter. There's even a rude version of this. You can't find it in this book, but let me just say it. Which goes, amcık meydandaysa yarrak Bağdat'tan gelir. Which means, look, I didn't make this. If the pussy is out in the open, the dick comes flying in from Baghdad. Flying in, like a reverse Scud missile. Flying in from Baghdad. And I don't know, there was lots of long distance relationships between Istanbul and Baghdad in those days. I don't know. Alet işler el övünür. The tool works while the hand gloats. These are really cool based proverbs, don't you think? Al gömlek gizlenmez, which means you can't hide a red shirt. And this in turn means if you have some expensive good property, you can't hide it, people will know. So many more. Let's look at letter B. Cahile söz anlatmak, deveye hendek atlatmaktan güçtür. Which means to teach one word to a fool, a goddamn fool, is easier than making a camel jump over a moat. So yeah. These are so good. Bir çiçekle yaz olmaz. One flower does not make a spring. Dilenciye hıyar vermişler, eğri diye beğenmemiş. Which means give a beggar a bent cucumber and he will complain it's not straight. Once again, it really shows you, tells you certain things about certain kinds of people out there. And these people are apparently universal in every society. And the parable of the beggar and the bent cucumber, I think it applies all over the world. Çok söyleme arsız olur. Parasız koyma hırsız olur. Don't praise someone too much, they become arrogant. But also don't let them go without money or they become a thief. How to raise a child. Çobanın gönlü olunca tekeden süt çıkarır, which means if a shepherd puts his mind through it, he can draw milk from a male goat. And that milk was Albert Einstein. Sounds sticky. Yes. So let's get a move on. Look, we're only like 40 pages in and it's already been an hour. Gönül bir sırça saraydır, kırılırsa yapılmaz, which means the heart is a crystal palace. Once broken, it cannot be put back together. Such a good description for love. It's a crystal palace, but if it's broken, good luck fixing that. İnsanın alacası içinde, hayvanınki dışında, which means beasts wear their color on the outside, people have their color on the inside. So true. Like you look at nature, all these animals, all these colors, horns and shit, but people's characters are just as variable as animals, like the whole world of animals, you know. There are people who act like snakes, people who act like dogs, people who act like shit, people who act like male goats, people who act like spiders and shit. But it's all worn on the inside. Very, very based. Yananla yenene bir şey dayanmaz. This is also like very, it must be like carved onto, well, the foreheads of every boomer out there. Yananla yenene bir şey dayanmaz, which means nothing can resist that which burns and that which can be eaten, which in turn means fungible things, like people just finish off fungible things, you know, like yanan, the burning thing, it means firewood or like fuel or coal, whatever. Like if something is fungible, like money, it's meant to be spent, then people go through it all. People don't save those things, and it's very nice. And this is one that's very, very particular to Istanbul, marked here, which means Zeyrek'ten başka yokuş, serçeden başka kuş bilmez, which alludes to a person who has very fixed ways of doing things, and he or she cannot change their mind easily. And if you're talking about that sort of a person, you tell that he or she only knows the slopes of Zeyrek and only thinks the sparrow is a bird because it's a fixed mind. Very nice. Which is so cool.